Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in this video we are going to talk about bioremediation. So let's get started. So in my previous video I left here and I talked about recalcitrant xenobiotics and discussed some of the examples as you can see on the screen. So we talked about some of the xenobiotics in details and its types. So moving on from there, so we'll talk about metal bioremediation. So as I said, we'll be talking about this in my next video, so here's it. So moving on with this, so talking about the sources of heavy metals in the environment, so there can be many sources from where heavy metals can be accumulated in regions where it should not. So some of the heavy metal sources can be mining activities which involve smelting, river dredging, mine spoils, tailing, metal industries. It can be atmospheric depositions, which is urban refuse disposal, hydrometallurgical industries, automobile exhaust, fossil fuel combustion. It can be industries such as plastics, textiles, microelectronics, wood preservatives, refineries. It can be agrochemicals, which is excessive use of pesticides and insecticides or fertilizers in common, or it can be waste disposal, which is through sewage, sludge, leach, eight from landfills, fly ash disposals. So there are major 5 sources of heavy metals, which are mining activities, atmospheric decomposition, waste disposal, agrochemicals, industries. So there. So these heavy metals cannot be destroyed by microbes, but they can be transformed from one state to another. Alright. So they may result in inherently less toxic through complexation, less water soluble precipitation, or more water soluble solubilization or volatilization. So these are some of these terms which may, or all of these may go through resulting, right? So these are not destroyed by microbes, which is to be pointed, because it's obvious that it is not something that is easily degradable and microbes cannot do this job. So but they can be transformed from one form to another, and these are some of the processes which help in the transformation. So these are volatilization, solubilization, precipitation, and complexation. So some of the metal bioremediation mechanisms are metal immobilization, which is through two techniques: complexation and bioimmobilization and precipitation. So under metal immobilization, we have complexation. So under complexation, we have exopolysaccharide, lipoproteins, and siderophores. And under bioimmobilization and precipitation, we have H2S producing bacteria, metal reduction, and many of these. And under solubilization, so solubilization or bleaching, so or more water solubility, so we have organic acids. Some of these are thiobacillus, leptospirillum, ferroxin, and root exudates. So these are some of the metal bioremediation mechanism or degrading mechanisms for metals, which is metal immobilization and solubilization. So under metal immobilization, we talked about these two methods. So with this, so talking about some of the important factors which help in the degradation process. So one of them is bioabsorption, which is absorption of heavy metals to biomass, and some bacteria such as alligenes, eutrophers can absorb metals like seed cadmium and zinc. We have siderophores, which is iron complexing molecules or metal binding protein, which is produced by metal binding protein. This is protein. Metal binding protein produced by some microbes having high affinity for high metals and form metal chelates, which is Pseudomonas aeruginosa for copper and zinc. So we have biosorption, we have siderophores, we have bioimmobilization. In this, we immobilize metals by enzyme catalyzed precipitation or transformation. So it includes formation of insoluble metal phosphates and sulfates, which is biomineralization. So it leads to formation of all of these insoluble metal phosphates and sulfates on the top of it, which is known as biomineralization. And biomobilization is very simple, as we know. It is a technique in which we immobilize metals with the help of enzyme catalyzed precipitation or transformation. And another method that we have here is the bioleaching. So in bioleaching, microorganisms can produce Metal leaching organic acids such as thiobacillus species producing sulfuric acid which can form metal chelates. So some of the bioleaching species can be thiobacillus, and biosorption we have Alicans eutrophus, siderophores we have Pseudomonas aeruginosa. So these are some of the biodegradation technique of metals. So moving on with this, so we have biosorption here. So these does the job of degrading metals, as you can see by attacking the surfaces of it. We have bioleaching techniques as well. So in bioleaching, insoluble metal plus organic acid equals to soluble metal chelate. So this picture is a bit hazy, I got it from somewhere. So, and we have biomineralization as well, which leads to the formation of a chelating compound. This is a metal microbe interaction as well, so I'll be explaining this in detail. So moving on with this. So we have this, as you can see, the enzyme transformation here. We have the metal precipitation which leads to the precipitation of metal so that all of the metal contaminant are removed. We have metal binding proteins which bind to the surface of the metal. We have native absorption which also binds to the metal surface of the protein to produce chelating compounds. So moving on with this, so this is another hazy picture. So in this we have all of the microorganisms and all of the metals on which it may be present on, which may help in the degradation of these metals. Alright, so this is Zeuglella ramigera for copper, Saccharomyces cerevisiae for uranium, Trichoderma variety for copper, Penicillium spirulosum for copper, cadmium, zinc, and Aspergillus niger, Cholera vulgans, and Rhizopus aureus. So I hope you can see this is very hazy. If you cannot see, I'll be showing you a good picture in the next video for all of these. So moving with that, we have the next biodegrading technique, which is biomining. So in this biomining, it is the extraction of metals or extraction of minerals from ores facilitated by microorganisms. So bioleaching and metal solubilization process is involved. So biomining, in this all of these processes we have discussed, such as bioleaching and metal solubilization process involved in this for extraction of minerals from the ores with the help of microorganisms. And the acid treated pile of low grade ore are used for the growth of bacterial strain which starts to degrade ores and release minerals or metals in fluid form. So as you can see, this acid treated pile of low grade ore, so this ore of acid treated pile is used for growth of bacterial strain. So this ore is used for bacterial strain which starts to degrade the particular ore on which these bacterial strains are present, and these release minerals in a fluid form, and it involves bacterial oxidation reduction process so that we can get the mineral. The advantages here are it's cheaper and has low grade ore can be utilized for extracting minerals. It is definitely eco-friendly, it is efficient, and metals can be extracted from polluted water also. So some of the disadvantages here are it is time consuming, definitely it takes about 6 to 2 years or longer, and it has a low yield of mineral. Yeah, it's definitely common cause it has a ease of using, or it has some sort of a reliability that it can use low quality ores, so definitely yield will be less, and it requires a large open area for treatment and no control over the process, and the risk of contamination is definitely higher. And some of the bacterial strains which can be used are Thiobacillus ferrooxidans, Leptospirillum ferrooxidans, and Thiobacillus thiooxidans. And some of the other microbes are Pseudomonas fluorescens and Bacillus lechiniformis. So moving on with it. So coming to the biomining process, how it all started. So copper is the first metal extracted using microorganisms in Spain in 1752 from its ores. So some of its ore are copper oxide, copper CuFe2, and copper sulfate. And some of the factors that affect this process is the choice of bacteria. So this is the main factor. One of the most important factors is the choice of bacteria, which should be acid producers. The ore composition, which should be concentrated in minerals and sulfides. The surface area, which is pretty much directly proportional. So the higher the surface area, the bigger the surface area, higher the ore production. And it should be acidic in nature. The choice of bacteria should be ore composition should be acidic. The choice of bacteria should be acid producing as well. So it requires an acidic surface, which should be around 2.5 to 5.3. and its temperature should be around, it should be having a bearable minimum temperature of 25 to 35, mesophilic or thermophilic in nature, and has surfactants which increase the rate of biooxidation of minerals from sulfide ores. So presence of surfactants definitely ease the process, and aeration is aerobic with the help of aerobic microbes, and solid liquid ratio. So the leach solution containing the leached minerals should be removed periodically and replaced with a new solution. So these are some of the factors that affect biomining. So this is the next part, which is the hydrocarbon bioremediation. So let's just keep this video till here. I'll be discussing hydrocarbon bioremediation in my next video. So stay tuned and thank you for watching this video.